What happens when you cross a Boss BD2 with a Paul Cochran Timmy? Well, you get almost exactly this. This is the JSA Effects Hot Toddy. The Boss BD2 is an absolute classic overdrive pedal, and also in fact Simon from JSA Effects' main and favourite overdrive pedal of the past 2 decades. It can cover a lot of ground from low gain bluesiness all the way to reasonably high gain rock and roll. I don't know how it does it, but it does. Simon knows that pedal better than most, but still there's always been three gripes he had with that pedal. The buffered bypass, the slightly unnatural note decay, and also the medium gain tones out of it was sort of meh, just alright. So we started experimenting with that BD2 circuit and modding it and trying new things. Now, one of the key components of a Boss BD2 is the op amp, something that is used in loads of overdrives and loads of Boss overdrives. And JSA Effects wondered, what if you take that op amp and put it into other types of circuits that don't usually have that component, essentially giving other overdrives the heart of a BD2. Frankenstein almost. Now, of course, this didn't always work and sometimes ended up with quite weird results, I'm sure. But where it did work quite well and ended up creating something special is putting that BD2 op amp into something close to a Timmy circuit. And then was born the Hot Toddy, maybe the ultimate transparent overdrive. Of course, the pedal went through many more iterations and designs, actually 5 years worth of work. But once JSA had finalised that circuit, he knew he'd stumbled across something quite special. Now, to be honest, I've never actually played a Timmy. What I know about it is only what I've read and what it's renowned for, which is being kind of the first ever boutique transplant overdrive, and still one of the best. I'd actually love to have one day. Now imagine that with a bit of Boss character sprinkled on top. I'm talking about that crispiness that you get from a Boss drive, that very particular gain structure. But now it has a much wider frequency range and is much more sculptable. When I first plugged this pedal in and set everything to noon, I was like, yeah, okay, that's it straight away. Noon, it's a really tasteful low gain overdrive that only really touches on medium gain once you really start to crank it. However, the dynamics of the pedal remain pretty spectacular no matter where you have it. The passive 2-band EQ, the treble and bass are smooth yet powerful. I actually really love two-band EQ overdrives. I think they're the most intuitive, and it's just my favourite way to sculpt an overdrive tone. Now, I actually threaded about this pedal a few weeks ago. Is threaded a thing now? I suppose it is. And I said it reminded me of the pedals that I demoed in the early days of this channel. And while you could take that one way or another, I actually meant it in the best possible way. This is the first pedal that JSA has put to PCB, and it feels like a really exciting step in the journey of JSA Effects. Yes, the looks of the Hot Toddy may turn some of you off, and yes, the graphics of the pedal are done with a label printer. But you know what? It's kind of a vibe for me. I kind of dig it. I know that if I had this on a board, it would look kind of cool. And you know what? That might be the pedal that punters and people coming to see you play might be like, what the hell is that pedal? All the while, most importantly, the tones are all there. One thing I love about low gain transparent overdrives is that they stack amazingly with other pedals, specifically fuzz pedals. So I'll show you what this pedal sounds like stacked with the Great Eastern Effects Focus Fuzz before it, and you'll hear how it just rounds off and smoothens off that gritty fuzz pedal and compresses it into a really thick, gainy tone. So this pedal is £99. There you go. Enough said. Video over. Take it from me, it's about as good as any transparent type overdrive I've ever played. You know, and I played a few because that is my ballpark. I like that type of overdrive pedal. So I say, give it a go. Support smaller pedal builders. And I don't think, well, I can promise you, you will not be disappointed with the JSA Effects Hot Toddy.